Unlock crew. Yeah, we're here chatting up again, and I'll let you take it away, Melekta.
All right. Yes. So we are here getting ready for our event this month on February 22nd. We are getting together to talk about soulmates, partnerships, basically just union without attachment, and looking at the sacred resonance that you can find in relationships. So, take that as it is. We're looking at all types of partnerships here. And to start off the conversation today, we are going to talk about sacred energy exchange or sex and how that plays into someone's search for or maintaining the type of partnership that they want in this life. All right, so I'll open it up to the crew.
Okay, so I can pretty much say that it's been distorted. It's been distorted as to the nth degree. What we see it as, how we view it, what it is, the consequences, just on the realm one level consequence of how we see it and how we maneuver in that, um, how we use it against one another, how we have weaponized it, how we have victimized ourselves in it, or the different archetypes that have arisen just from that has been pretty much nuts. I think that's why we're coming to the point where it's like, yeah, we've experienced everything we have to experience here. It's coming up to
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Well,
it's coming to peak.
and if you wanted an example of how beliefs influence reality, I mean, this topic on its own is just uh, uh, a whole thing of its own. It's a whole bomb of distortion and like people infusing their beliefs into it and causing further distortions within what they're taught through religion. What their parents had to say about it. Uh, any sort of moralizing that happened while they were growing up. Yeah, there's a lot of that. So
Absolutely. Anyone else?
No, I want go ahead and get into it. Like,
Okay.
define for the people what sacred energy exchange, what that means. Like, I think you hear these words, and some people may be sitting there listening, like, well, I don't even know what. I mean, I get the acronym; it matches with sex, but what does that actually mean?
Well, if you think about the acronym, Sacred Energy Exchange actually is acronym of C.
Mm,
And that's what its original
mhm,
form was. It was just a form of seeing into one another's energy fields. We just ran with the X part, and now
mhm.
that's the distorted version of it. Like, and now we've made it something that it's not, you know?
Right.
And if you think about all of the influence that we've had and how you can really influence someone from really, really young, it's through
mhm.
that portal, it's through that sacral chakra,
Mm,
it's through that place of creation. If you hit the 0 point of creation, if you hit that place, then you could pretty much program anything you want.
Right.
Fears,
right.
the ideas of infections, the ideas of disease, the ideas
Mhm,
of being able to take advantage of someone, all of these things, that's where they're programmed right into.
mm,
And that's where the distortion started giving birth, you know?
right.
Plus, it's also a birthplace, like, especially on the vessel here, like, there's so
Right.
much things that are distorted about that area. There's a lot of collective healing that has to happen around the sacral chakra and
Mhm.
that whole entire sacred energy area so that people can step into their power and start creating from true 0 point of creation instead of from a distorted version of what that
Right.
might look like.
Right.
Right. And that influences relationships as well. Not just
Yeah.
your intimate relation, with a intimate partner, but any relationships you have, even uh they're influenced by this. I mean, you could even have a good business partner. We're gonna, talk on the idea of soulmates and whatnot, and that'll tie into this as well. But all of these distortions will affect those relationships because you were just shackled with these right away, right? Like the earlier the beliefs are imposed upon you, the earlier they screw you up, and they tend to be the ones that are the last to go because they're like at the core of who you think you are since you
Mm,
entered the flesh suit. So
correct.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I would say energy in itself is sacred. So now we're referring to sacred energy exchange, which has little to see with sex in a way. I mean, yes, it's related, but it's sex just been the distortion part of it. How it's been what's the entry door of manipulations and how they manipulate people's beliefs and uh, according to actually being able to be in relationship or how you create and what I mean by that, how you manifest, because the life force is associated with it. So for the main part, it's more about paying attention where you are directing your life force, I would say, and what distortions you put on it as well. Because I don't think anything is dirty or bad per se, but it's definitely been shown that way.
Right.
And obviously, because many of us have misunderstood how the whole body functions and what the body is, because the body is sacred as well. So the ability to manifest what you desire, specifically now we're going to talk about relationship, understanding what takes place, in that area, the root chakras, and that's, I think, it's really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about the idea of life force as well associated to it?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I don't view sex itself as a distortion. I view the intentionality behind it as the distortion. So
yeah,
what are your
absolutely.
intentions? Because on the other side, we have sex, just so that we can be very clear on that. Sex didn't start in realm 1. Sex is being had in realm 2, 3, probably all the way up to 12, and outside of the construct as well. So it's like I say, the hammer analogy. You can use a hammer to build a house, or you can use a hammer to kill somebody. The hammer's not at fault. So sex isn't necessarily at fault, or sex shouldn't be looked at as taboo, or there shouldn't be any negative association with sex. It's the intentionality behind that energy exchange. So what is my intention in going into this energy exchange? Am I looking to receive from this energy exchange, or am I looking to give? So what is our intention walking into these different exchanges? And that could be sex. Like Bless said, it could be just and we're going to talk about relationships across the board. I don't want people to think this is a Valentine's Day event where we just talking about love and sex and all, how to find your soulmate. That you can get that from this. But ultimately, it's how do we how do we interact with all the souls that we have agreed to be a part of each other's experience? How do we interact while we're here? How do we show each other that unconditional love that's necessary for us all to grow as souls? So I think sex is a huge part of it. As far as procreation, obviously we have to do that here in order to create new flesh suits for souls to come into. But I think I feel like a lot of the negative stigma that is around sex is done through other distortions. So religious distortions, you shouldn't have sex until you get married. But marriage wasn't even a thing. Marriage then isn't what marriage is now. There was no paperwork. You literally just, and how do you account for all of the religious people, all the people in these religious texts that have multiple wives? There's so much around sex that has been distorted. Sex itself isn't distorted, but it is the constructs within the construct that have distorted sex. So like religion, polarity, good and bad, all of this stuff. When
a lot of baggage attached to it.
A lot of baggage. There's more negative connotation attached to it than there is positive.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is.
There's a reason behind that. So.
Right. And a lot of it is to keep you under control. So if we say and I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. I'm married. I don't have extra women that I have sex with. I'm just with my wife and I'm cool. But that's because I'm choosing that life. I don't do
Yeah.
that because somebody told me I had to.
Mhm.
I do what I want to do because that is what I'm here to do. If we're going to be real about it, but there's ownership attached to sex, which I think that's going to be, we're going to touch on that and why that's important not to do that for your own sanity. um, and like I said, there's so many things attached to sex. It's crazy because I feel like it's more stuff attached to sex than sex is actually worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
In its
Well,
essence, sex is really just for procreation.
right.
It just
And
happens to feel good, great, but the purpose of it is procreation.
well, and you brought up ownership in the way that you would imply that you like own the other person or like have
Correct,
some kind of yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct.
Exactly.
So I think the intentionality is probably the main point of discussion when we talk about sex and relationships. Period. What is my intention walking into these different things that are here for our good, for our benefit? Again, I'm leaning more towards removing polarity from my experience. Stop focusing on what's good and what's bad. It's all what it is, and we're here to experience
Right.
it all.
Seeing it for
So
what it is.
just
Yeah.
see it for what it is, and we're here to experience it all.
I was actually going
So yeah,
to because I saw a comment where someone mentioned that basically sex has been distorted through porn. Um, Actually, I wanted to talk about the distortion and how there's a distortion on the distortion itself. That's the whole
Mhm.
layered game. Um, Not necessarily. I mean, I asked myself one thing: if all the pleasure were obtainable without you having even the physical act of sex in the first place, would you even want to have sex? Are we
Mhm.
operating from a place of lust, desire, which is vibrating pretty low anyway? If
Right.
you
Mhm.
take the map of consciousness, you
Mhm.
realize that it's not the highest
Desire,
frequency.
you
So, on the place of need, as opposed to truly want it. Do you truly want it? You may
know.
not know if you truly want that or experience it the way it's been shown to you. And I know there's a distortion when you see what's happened in porn and stuff like that. There is, but it's an oversimplification of what the distortion
Yeah.
has been, or what the first setting that took place
Mhm.
around uh, the activity of sex. Anyway,
Can I say this? Can I
yeah,
say
sure,
this,
sure, go
Amandi?
ahead.
Because I want to hammer down on what you just said. Blame. It sounds like you blaming porn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Porn isn't the reason for the
why.
distortion. It's the intention of this distortion. Like again, I'm not a porn star. Like I'm not caping for the porn industry or nothing. But we, as if we're going to be gods, we have to stop blaming things for our nature. We have to
Yeah.
stop blaming outside sources. We're told not to worship outside sources. Well, we shouldn't blame outside sources either.
Mhm.
Everything, the distortion around sex comes from us.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And
Period.
then
that's
and then
yeah.
I guess that's more does art mirror life or does life mirror art? And porn is just a mirror
Exact
of
yeah,
what was
mirror of
already
what
going
we're
on.
Well,
yeah.
exactly,
yeah, and there's
exactly.
so many personal beliefs attached to all of it too, right? Like
Most
you
of
could
Yeah.
it's
say that,
religious.
right? You could say there are issues when it comes to porn and the way that people choose to deal with their life situations, such that they choose porn over their partner or something, for
But
example.
Exactly.
then
But
isn't that
there's
the
so many
attachment part?
beliefs, and right, so we've got all kinds of a can of worms to go through there, like their relationship with their partner. What did they believe they needed? What did they believe they had to go and get
Mhm.
married right away? Was there a church
Mhm.
on them? Were they really in love? What did love mean to them? And now they're looking at porn. Well,
Yep.
why do they feel like they're cut off from anybody else? Like, are they in
Mm-hmm.
a relationship where they're just
Mm-hmm.
miserable? Like, there are layers upon layers that we'll be going
Correct.
through on this. Because
Correct.
Yeah.
Now,
To be
whoever asked that
I
just
agree
question
to
or
with
be
you.
made it,
clear, no, it was
yeah,
MJ. She just said
I want to say
that
that's
she
great.
doesn't think she's blaming it. She just said it's an expression, which it is,
Yeah,
but
Sure,
it's
sure.
yeah,
also an expression that's, I think she was trying to point out, that is one of the many distortions.
correct.
And it's one of
Oh,
the many
definitely.
things that now it's like a new thing for us to be dependent on.
Correct.
If
Right.
dependency around that area of your life is going to be
Correct.
chosen, it's just been another avenue you can attach yourself to.
Well,
Right.
I
Yeah,
was
and
going to say,
MJ, I didn't want to come across as though I was saying that you were blaming it. I'm just making the statement of that because I see it all the time, and it's like,
Oh
oh
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm seeing it a lot where, oh, you're not productive because you watch porn. That's one has nothing to do with the other.
No, no,
No,
it
kind of
doesn't.
a
That's
false
like saying
equivalency.
you know they don't have anything to do with any. You can do whatever you want. This is what I'm trying to get people to understand. We're not here. We're here to experience all of the gambits of this experience, and whatever that looks like for you is what it looks like for you. Sex, I would say, is like a drug. It can be addictive.
Mm,
So say you have a sex addiction. Now you don't even view sex the same way someone who has a normal relationship with sex
Does. Yeah,
does,
no, you wouldn't.
right? So I think this is so layered, and I'm glad we having the
yeah, it
event
is.
because I think when
Mm,
it all gets down to it, it's gonna come back to unconditional love for all of it. And
always.
so once we break it down and kind of get into it, I think
Yeah, just
people
start
gonna have a different
unraveling the
view of
knots around all this stuff. Yeah.
and it's all meant, MJ and whoever's listening, it's all meant to free you.
Right.
Mm.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you shouldn't be held with any constraints or any bondage over anything that you're experiencing here.
Well, this is funny you mentioned this,
She did bring
Corey.
up a great point, though. That
I
Yeah.
was going, yeah, she did
Oh,
really.
absolutely.
That's a
Yes,
great
she
point
did. I'm
because
glad she brought it up.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
what it is all the ramifications that
Mhm.
are attached to these things. I mean, like for instance, I don't even think the porn industry. I'm not going to say the porn industry. I don't think the concept behind porn is a distortion. I think it's an expression, definitely.
Expression.
However,
Yeah.
when you see
yeah,
the
that's what she said.
ramification that are attached to the industry in itself,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
what type of life people end up to have, and what
Mm-hmm.
they're manifesting, you realize the distortion is in place, and it has an
Mm-hmm.
impact in the way that distortion, in the way people
Mm-hmm.
operate and live their life.
But
Yep.
then distortion is something that we do.
That
We
we
make
create.
things and then
Yes.
we
Yeah,
distort
We
them.
yeah,
distort
Because
them.
think
Yes.
something simple as like, okay, music. You have the
Yes.
music industry, and then you had classical music, and you had people who did music on a frequency, and then you have the distortion version. So it's like we go
Isn't
through
it?
this process of
Yeah.
making something and then distorting it, and then we're
Yes.
done with it.
Isn't it
It's like the
interesting that
circle
everything
of
that
everything we create here.
well, I
Yeah.
was going to
correct.
mention something about this. Funny what you're saying. There is a pleasurable aspect to the distortion in itself. I mean, the reason why I'm saying this is because as a sound engineer, we use distortion in order to make a
Mm-hmm.
sound more pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a kind of like a bit of
Alchemy.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
kind
good
of
word for it.
in order to
Yeah.
experience the sound in a way that's pleasing for your ears.
Yeah,
Now,
it's
too much
like,
distortion takes it too far, and
Yeah.
then it doesn't sound good. So it's kind of a mirror this
but it can be a
concept.
piece
Yeah,
of
Yeah.
art, because then
yeah,
you
Yeah.
get like the Jimi Hendrix using the
Can,
wah on
right.
the
Yeah, yeah,
guitar.
yeah,
Like it
do
was
you?
like
yeah,
epic, but
Yeah.
yeah,
then you get like, you hear some bullshit, you're like, okay,
yeah,
now.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Can
Absolutely.
I ask you a question because you guys are in the music? Y'all have worked in music. Isn't it interesting how everything that becomes an industry becomes distorted?
Yeah, it
to
does.
some extent.
Anytime you attach an industry to something, there's an automatic distortion that comes
Well,
with that, because now you're not doing it for the love of that particular thing.
right.
You're doing it so that you can build a business or make money or make an
Right.
industry out
You
of it.
already lost the thread, right? Because
Yeah,
I
you're not
yeah,
operating from your
think
passion. It's money for
yeah,
money's sake at that
yeah,
point.
yeah,
I
yeah,
But
think
yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
less
people
about.
go ahead.
Sorry to cut you.
You're good.
No, you good.
I think it's less about it becoming an industry and more about you having it a means of making what people feel is a survival tool. If you extracted the idea of needing to make a living from it,
Yeah,
survival, if you subtract the
right.
survival element from it, it just wouldn't
Well,
be,
that's
it wouldn't
so.
become
So,
that.
Shin,
But
we
yeah,
saying
so
the same
yeah,
thing. We're saying the
but
same thing. When I say industry, that's what I mean. Like
okay,
industry,
yeah,
it inherently says that I'm making
yeah,
it. I need to survive from it. An industry. Think of an industry. What
yeah,
even the
just that
word
Yeah.
whole,
industry means.
Any
Like
of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
any of
yeah,
them, you
yeah,
could
yeah.
choose music, art, industry. Anytime you hear the word industry associated with something, there's a level of distortion that comes with it, and there's a level of judgment that comes with it
Mm.
too.
Yeah.
So when you say the porn industry or any other industry, sex itself isn't the porn industry.
Well, it's just another way
That
for
makes sense.
the
No,
You know
it's
what I'm
not.
saying?
No.
it's another way for the people here to make contrast for us.
There you
That are
go.
Yeah.
the ones that are
Exactly.
making the
Yes.
contrast.
Yes.
They use
Making
Well,
that
But
contrast.
to
then
to your point.
can I talk about
Mm.
the fact that we got to sex, but what we were originally discussing was sacred energy
Energy exchange.
exchange.
Mm-hmm.
But
mm,
if you see the acronym for that, it's not SEX at
Yes.
all. It's
It ain't.
SEE,
E.
which is to
Yep.
see.
Mm.
It's
See.
about a level of intimacy that you can
Correct.
have with any other soul. That would be a
Correct.
shaking of a hand. That would be a hug. That would
Correct.
be a kiss. That would be sharing food with one another. That would be
Mm-hmm.
so many different things. And that was like the original 0 point as to where
Mm-hmm.
we started
Yeah.
traveling on back and
Yeah.
making other things happen from it.
Well,
Correct.
it can affect
right.
you in order to manifest certain things you desire in your life. I mean, talking about relationship or any sort of things like that, because it has a lot to see with you field, um, um,
Mm.
your magnetic field, and the integrity of it. So the less integrity, the more susceptible you are to suffer the distortion of these things when you interact with it. Because I do believe there's a certain amount of distortion that needs to take place in order to make contrast and this reality
Correct.
palpable. So
Correct.
I think we're here for that experience, and Corey mentioned it many times. But I think that we also want to acknowledge that aspect in order to be more aware of our field and how we interact with one another, because it will affect you. And it's when you see certain lives playing out, it's no wonder why there is no
Uh-huh.
stable relationship or there's difficulty to
Uh-huh.
find ones. And it's what these events are for, to actually
Yep.
improve the ability to stabilize that.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
when you see this energy exchange, I think that there's always going to be a chosen interaction when it comes to different energies,
Uh-huh.
because it's difficult while you're here in your body to do without. You kind of
Yeah.
have to anyway,
I
but
think
it's to do it mindfully, I would say.
I think it's
Or
about
with intent.
finding the
Yeah.
match and not vilifying any one way.
Yeah,
You see what
absolutely.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
saying?
agree with that. Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
what's good for
It all
one
goes back to
person is
love.
not going to be good for another. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, over the years, like what Corey was saying, certain other um constructs in the society have vilified it
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they've
and
done that for
told us
sure.
how to feel about it. So
Right.
Yep.
we're
Tell
not doing the very one thing we're supposed to, which is tune into our inner knowing about how we really feel about it as a soul
And
and
setting
moving
your
from that
intention.
place.
Yep.
Yep.
Set your
Correct.
own
Mm.
intentions, set your own
Mm-hmm.
ideas and your
Mm-hmm.
own desires around it.
Then
Yep.
would a part of it would a part of it be um embracing that distortion in the first place? Because then not operating
Yes.
from a place of judgment anymore.
Yes.
You
Yes.
could, yeah, without
Yeah.
judgment. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the thing is when we speak of distortion, we speak of it as something that should be shunned or we should
Mm.
push against it. But isn't that why we came here in the first place?
Right. I would suggest that the highest way to look at it would be you recognize it for what it is, and you thank it for being part of your experience. Like you
And
don't,
then you move
and
on.
you can choose to, yeah, you can choose to engage with it if you want, or don't.
Or
But
don't.
you just see it as part of the experience. You're not like
Yeah.
condemning things or whatever. Like you could say there are atrocities that happen when we were about porn earlier, for example. Once you pull back far enough and get yourself into a place of love enough, you look at those things and you can see that these are souls playing out their experiences so that they can have them.
And you become a casual observer of it all.
Right.
Well, talking about this, Corey,
where we should be.
Talking about what you just said, it's probably where the challenges are. It's how do you recognize that? So you can put yourself in that position, what you just explained, a casual observer. Because it's, I mean, for a lot of people, it's challenging.
Yeah.
So how do you take it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and it's challenging because of all of the distortions, the religious distortions, the moral distortions, the this is good and this is bad. And because you label something good or bad, there will automatically be a certain amount of judgment attached to it.
Instant baggage, yeah.
When the truth is, there is no judgment for any of it. Like, there will be no eternal judgment for any of it at all. Like, I don't care how bad you hate the people, you think they're the worst scum of the earth. Now, there is consequences for it. Don't get it twisted. There are consequences. We about to see a lot of consequences over the next year or so being played out for things that we're now finding out that people do. And this goes back to relationships, because these are still relationships being held between different souls. But there won't be any eternal judgment. And that's hard for people to swallow, because your whole life you've been told that there's a heaven and a hell, and the bad people go there and the good people go here. And that's just not true.
Especially if
the people believe it to be so.
Right, like, especially if you've lived your life in such a way that you feel like you followed a good path. And now you see all these bad people coming out in current events, and it'll continue. And you're like, well, why do they get what I get? I was good the whole time. Well, because we're here to experience contrast. And if you pull back
you
far
weren't
enough,
good the whole time.
Right. Well, that too, exactly.
And so that's another piece of the puzzle that people, again, when I talk about intentionality, you're living several experiences. Your soul isn't just here.
Right.
You're living multiple experiences. It could be an infinite amount of experiences. You ain't good in all of them.
Right.
You have to be bad in some of them, because you have to experience that, which you are not.
Right.
So,
well, and how many times are you supposed to forgive for those who grow up religious? What was it?
70 times 70?
Yeah,
70 times 70 or something
like the point being, you just forgive no matter what.
The point is you just stop judging.
Yeah.
Then could it be where better judgment come from? So these parallel lives instances that you are experiencing in real time, say being the bad one, or making bad decision, perhaps this is you. You better judgment when you in that particular reality where you feel like this is not the right thing to do, intuitively, like your intuition's telling you you shouldn't do that. And talking about energy exchange, when you feel like I shouldn't be a part of that interaction. What's your view on that, Shem? Because I know that you mentioned the sacred energy exchange a lot in terms
I
of
have a whole entire experience of that really helped when it came to my own personal healing and my own personal traumas attached to that. But I'm not gonna share it on YouTube, because it's like because
I understand.
So
but, maybe I'll talk about it if it comes up on the Gr8 Unlock. But
I'm gonna make sure it come up on the Gr8 Unlock, because I want to hear it.
Gonna hold you to
it. I'm gonna make sure.
But it can be. It is definitely about judgment and forgiveness, but how do you actually do it? Because it's all fair and well to say, "Oh, forgive," but when you've been in the place of the
the
victim, so to speak,
the
or
damaged party.
the
Yes.
damaged part of the distortion. And when it's
Mhm.
the distortion isn't serving you in any way,
Mhm.
That
how do
righteous
you get
fury.
past that?
Oh, don't
What
worry.
does
I'm
that
going
look
to
like?
definitely make sure we
Yeah.
talk about that because I want to hear your.
Yeah.
I truly want to hear your
There is
experience with
healing on
that
the
because
side, but
that's important.
yeah, and
It's
it's
important to
vital.
know.
It's
So
vital.
I hate to interrupt this because the
No, go
conversation
ahead.
is going great, and I know it's getting real juicy, but we're out of time right now.
Oh,
Do y'all want to close it out with one last thing? We're gonna be back next week, and we're gonna put something out asking for questions that you want us to address during these lives. So we'll get that out on YouTube, so you'll be able to throw in a question. We may or may not talk about it, but we'll definitely talk about it at the Gr8 Unlock. So I don't know. Shem, I want you
because
to.
I wanted to
Yeah,
Go
say
ahead,
yeah.
Corey.
I've
Why
got
don't you break it?
don't
Yeah, okay.
worry.
I just wanted to double down on what you said, Malekta, because
Yeah.
I want people, anybody who's listening, when you come to these events, they're not for us.
Mm-hmm.
They're not for us to sit around and just shoot the shit. It's for you to gain wisdom that can be practiced. Because if you just have a bunch of knowledge and you're not doing anything with it, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
Once you know.
So, yeah, once you
Well,
know, now let's put it in practice and let's start changing our experience here.
yeah.
So thank you, Malekta, for saying that because we want your questions. The most important part of these things is the Q&A to me, because this is where we get to help you level up your experience here. And not really, we not doing it. We just helping you remember how to level up your experience here. So let me not say that because I'm not taking credit for your ascension. But that's what
No.
this whole thing is about. So please come with questions. Please ask questions. Again, we may not answer them in these settings, but every question we will be taking note of it and try to make sure we answer everything in the Gr8 Unlock event. That's for sure.
Yeah. They usually run over for that reason.
Yep. Yep.
I
they
do want to
Yeah.
thank MJ. She brought up a really good point about it's time to grow. And
Mhm.
like I was talking about, that healing part from the experience, because the experience can be rough
Yes.
and the
Mhm.
experience could be great. How do you move on and grow and expand from the hurt place as well?
Right.
And how do you make that not hold you back for finding love, for experiencing love, for experiencing joy and giving relationships, gifting relationships, and all those other things. So yeah, we'll definitely be unfolding that. So thanks everyone in the comment section. I
Beautiful.
do
Yeah.
see you, Jay,
Yes.
Piano, like
So good to
MJ.
see
And
all of
MJ,
you.
I love
Hey,
you,
Shah.
by the way. I don't want you to think I was trying to shit on
I
your
go,
porn
sure.
question.
Yeah.
I just
Nah, I
know
don't
that
think she
that
took it
get
like
busted.
oh.
Yeah, I know
Nah.
maybe she did or she didn't, but I have to. My integrity won't let me leave without saying that. So I love you, MJ,
Much
whoever
love.
you are. I don't know, but that was an excellent question, and it kind of took us down a road I wanted to go down anyway. So it's good.
Cool.
I'll say one last thing. I think we come to a point now where everybody are realizing that they've been lied to. They are questioning even the nature of reality. And how can we not question the nature of our bodies
Right.
and how it work in the process of that? And I think that if you if I was, and I'm saying based on the concept that space is, like, I mean, not is, they taught you, let's say I send you on a ship to space, wouldn't that make sense for you to look after that, the maintenance of that ship, and make sure that you can get to your destination? Was the same thing with the body?
Body is your temple.
If you run out of fuel, you got to ask the question, why am I feeling so low in energy? Because I can't do nothing. And you know, when you all feel weak, when you feel depleted, you can't do much. And I think that really matters.
And you can do so much more once you realize, once you identify the leaks and plug the holes, or move the boulders out of the way of your path so you're not stumbling over them every time you walk the path. Anything like that, any metaphor you'd like.
So see your consciousness inside that spaceship, going to the destination you need to go.
Beautiful.
That's what I
And
would
I
say.
think
Love that.
beautiful. And we're unfortunately going to have to wrap it up, but we will be back here next week. We really hope everyone can join us on the 22nd at the Gr8 Unlock. This will be an extension of what we've been talking about today and the rest of the month, but it will go much deeper and it'll be much more things that can't be talked about on public sites like this. So
Layers on layers on layers.
on layers. So the link will be, I think, is in the chat. The link will also be in the comments, or in the description of the video. So we really hope you're there. Okay.
All right. Much love, everyone.
Much love.
See you all. Take care.